The taboo topic, rich kids in racing. How dare them? How dare them kids come racing and their dads doesn't even make them work. They just born with $100 bills flying out their butt. Told that to Sterling Marlin one day. He started laughing. Let's break it down. All right. So we know the most taboo topic because there are wealthy people out there that go racing, and some make it work and some don't make it work. Some people are just extremely jealous that somebody has money and some doesn't. I've always been told, Herman, don't talk about politics, money, religion. Those are, there's an old saying that says, two things that come between friends, right? Money and women. One of the most famous race car drivers in the world told me that one. So let's go at it. Now, you're going to have your opinion. I'm going to have my opinion. And that's what the Kenny Wallace Show is all about. So let's give it a go right here. Okay. What does Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chase Elliott, Harrison Burton, and Kenny Wallace, what do we all have in common? What do we have in common? What does the most popular driver in NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr., what do we have in common? Yeah, right. Rich kids, right? Me. My mom and dad didn't have any money. We didn't come from money. Dale Earnhardt Sr. didn't have any money. He didn't come from money. But the kids benefited from the mom and dads working their ass off all those years, right? So I think it's how you look at it. We all need to be careful saying, oh, well, that kid got there because he got money. Kenny Wallace is there because of his brother. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is there because of his ditty. Chase Elliott's there because of his ditty. Okay? So that's one example. But we might say, well, but I like Dale Jr. and he won. And hold on though. It was still served up right there. Look, it's right there. Dale Sr. said, kid, you want to race? Here's a late model stock. You and your buddy go on down there. Made him work for it. Hey, I think the kid can drive. Let's put him in a Busch Grand National car. Hey, he can drive. Still, had somebody serve it up. Same with me, except mine was a little rougher, but I'll still say that if it was not for my brother Rusty, look, it's not a secret. I've told people it my whole life. I owe my brother Rusty everything. If it weren't for Rusty Wallace, I would have never made it in NASCAR. However, when I was around home here, I did do it all on my own. Yes, I did. It's right there for everybody to look at. 1986, I went into ASA all by myself. I got some of Rusty's sponsors, John Childs, Don Kern, and I made it to NASCAR. I made it to NASCAR because I went through ASA first. Dale Jr. went through late model stocks. Chase Elliott went through, late models. So it's all in what you want to believe, how you believe it. So-and-so is only there because of this. We can split those hairs all day long. Ken Griffey Jr. in baseball. Oh, the only reason Ken Griffey Jr. in baseball because of his dad, Ken Griffey Sr. See, we can play that game all day long. I got some dear friends that I roughed up early, and now I'm a little bit wiser, a little bit older. I think I'm a little more mature. Maybe not. But how about Brendan Gaughan? His dad owned South Point Casino. How about Brian Scott? My gosh. I mean, Brendan Gaughan, Brian Scott, they didn't need for anything. So here's the way I look at it. Okay, I've given you my disclaimer. I saw a meme the other day. Let's break it down a little bit. Let's go to short track racing. I saw a meme the other day, and it had these kids dressed in nice shirts and, the pink and the blue shorts and the flip-flops, college kids. And it was a funny meme. It said, kids waiting for their dads to unload their cars. It was funny because it was true in a lot of cases. But here's what I would say, okay? I would say a lot of it is to blame on the fathers, all right? Here, let's look at Joey Logano. Joey Logano's dad was his own worst enemy. I mean, Joey Logano is a great race car driver. He's a two-time champion. But Joey Logano does not get there unless his dad makes him a race car driver. So a lot of these rich kids blame the dad. Blame the dad. Don't be roughing the kid up. The dad wanted them to be where they're at. I'm pretty sure Joey Logano would have never been a race car driver if it wasn't for his dad. So, rich kids. Okay, so I told you who is rich. Everybody I just told you was rich, was helped along the way. I don't think it benefits anybody to stand on top of a mountain and go, I did it all myself. I had no help. Everybody got to have help. And as far as rich kids, I'll go with you. I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you halfway. What is a rich kid? A rich kid is a kid that will not work on his race car, a kid that will not help unload, a kid that will not get in the shop, a kid that will not get his hands dirty. That's a rich kid. Okay. Now, those do aggravate me because I feel like if you're going to be a good race car driver, you should somewhat pay your dues. Now, let's go a step further. Is Kyle Larson a rich kid? I mean, his mom and dad said, here's a go-kart. Let's get you a ride. I mean, what is it that some of you want? Do you want a kid to do you want a kid to do everything on his own? I mean, my dear friend Nick Kaufman, he's not a rich kid, but you can say, oh, well, his dad builds his motors for him. You see what I'm saying? You could go on and on and on. So what is a rich kid? I once made a horrible comment about Brendan Gaughan. Well, he's rich. His dad owns South Point Casino. If racing don't work out for him, hell, he just go run the casino. Well, that was pretty rough for me. Let me kick my ass. Hey, can't you see hey, Herman, what are you doing? Can't you see I'm kicking my ass? I made a mistake. I called Brendan Gaughan on the phone. I said, Brendan, I'm so sorry. I was going through a tough time. I was bitter with myself. That's another thing about that kid, that rich kids. You're bitter with yourself. I was in a bitter time. Things weren't going good for me in NASCAR. I was busting my ass. I always got all my sponsors all by myself. I got to a point there where it was hard for me to get some. And here's a rich kid over here was Diddy's giving him money, and I was jealous. I was bitter. You see how this works? When you are true to yourself, it's much easier.